Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to talk about Kriya Yoga New Year Resolution. So as we head into the new year of 2025, as Kriya Yogis, it can be very helpful to look back at our practice in the past year and to look how we were able to apply the different techniques that we learned to get the results to start to go into a very deep meditation. So one of the things that we can look at initially is, are we doing the complete practice of Kriya Yoga as taught by our teacher? So all the different elements, including Kriya Pranayama and associated practices, are we doing all of those on a regular basis? So one of the things that we can look at in regards to Kriya Pranayama, which is the form of intentional breathing that brings us into a low idle state, is, are we hitting the target as was given to us by Yogi Raj Lahiri Baba, also known as Lahiri Mahashai? And what did he say? He said that 12 Kriya Pranayama equals pratyahara, equals internalization. So really what this comes down to is, if we are able to start to have the onset of pratyahara, of going into a low idle state in 12 Kriya, we know that we're doing it correctly. And if we're doing it correctly, getting into a deep meditative state is not far beyond that. So as we assess our Kriya Yoga practice, can we use Kriya Pranayama to get into Pratyahara in 12 Kriyas? If so, we're doing it well. If we're not getting into Pratyahara within 12 Kriyas, how long is it taking? Is it taking 24 Kriyas? Is it taking 36, 48, 60, 72, etc., etc.? How long is it taking to get the onset of Pratyahara? The farther you get away from 12 Kriyas, the more you will have to tweak your practice to make it efficient and effective. And so if you want to improve your practice, you improve the quality of the Kriya. So it's not just about doing quantity in Kriya, it is also about doing quality. So if you're looking for a little help with your Kriya Yoga New Year resolutions, there's an event coming up on Saturday, January the 4th, 2025. So make sure to stick around until the end of the video so that you can learn all about that. Now, the other thing that we can look at in regards to our practice is, are we getting into the tranquil breath? So the tranquil breath is a byproduct of us going into a low idle state. And the tranquil breath starts to emerge spontaneously in our practice in the form of an involuntary breath that starts to shallow out and then disappear. This is not the same thing as the breath just calming down and being quiet and you losing awareness of it. There's actually a physiological response in the body as one goes into the tranquil breath. So what one experiences when one is sitting in Paravasta, the after effect state of Kriya, is that the breath pattern starts to involuntarily change. It starts to shallow out and then it disappears from the awareness. And one experiences very deep pratyahara. So the tranquil breath is not so much as a goal as a byproduct, a signpost along the way to let you know that you're going into deep meditation. Another thing that we can become aware of is dharana. So is dharana, internalized concentration, starting to appear in our practice? What dharana is when the body starts to disappear from our awareness and we're drawn into an internalized void. Some have described this as a roll-up of consciousness where the consciousness of the body starts to disappear. Usually the awareness is drawn into the head area, and one is in this internalized, concentrated state. So we can look back at our practice and say, have we been getting consistently into dharana? Has the body been disappearing? Has the tranquil breath been there as well? And then we can also look at, has dhyan, absorption, meditative absorption, started to unfold? Have we started to have internally absorbed experiences, for example, of our Ishta Devata, our chosen form of the divine? And as we look back at our practice in this past year, have we been getting into samadhi regularly, into the superconscious awareness? The first samadhi is usually where one experiences this perception of infinite space. So have we been getting into samadhi regularly? And if we've been not getting into these states, we can look at, what has our practice been? Have we been consistently working at our Kriya Yoga practice? Have we been doing Kriya Yoga every day? Success in one's sadhana, one's spiritual practice, is directly dependent on the amount of work that one puts into it. So if you're consistently doing your Kriya Yoga, you're more likely to get results from it than if you do it inconsistently. So doing it consistently means practicing Kriya Yoga every day. Have you been making an effort in Paravasta? So Paravasta is the after effect poised state of Kriya. Once you have done Kriya Pranayama and associated practices, it has an effect on you, bringing you into a low idle state. You may experience pratyahara, right, internalization. You may experience dharana. You may experience dhyan, the absorption, you may experience samadhi. So all of that continuity of different experiences that you have after doing your techniques. So have you been making an effort in Paravasta? And by making an effort, I don't mean driving it with your willpower, but making the effort to sit and to be in that Paravasta state, to allow the meditations to unfold. There's a lot of Kriya yogis that are only satisfied with doing the techniques, and then they sit there for 5 or 10 minutes and they get up and that's it. If you want to have success in Kriya Yoga, you need to sit in Paravasta for a longer period of time. I would say at least 15 to 20 minutes, if not longer, because that is where the real effort in Kriya Yoga begins. The Kriya Yoga techniques are really those practices that help to bring you onto the playing field, if you will, so that you can play the game that begins in Paravasta. But if you don't play the game, you can't expect to have success in the game. If you don't show up in Paravasta, there is no game to be played at all. So really spending some time in Paravasta to really see what is actually unfolding in meditation, to recognize attachment as it arises and to let it go and to allow the meditative states to unfold naturally will bring you toward the divine goal of realization, of awakening. If you don't put effort into that, if you don't allow the space for that to happen, you will not progress spiritually. So as a resolution, I would say for sure, make an effort in Paravasta. Spend time in Paravasta after you have done the Kriya Yoga techniques. Sit long, allow your meditation to unfold, be aware of what is happening. Another resolution to be aware of is, are you practicing yama and niyama, the moral do's and don'ts? So in particular, the yama, what to avoid, these are really crucial to success in meditation. So we can think about conduct in everyday life. So do we have the intention and do we follow through with harming others? Do we take what is not given? Are we overindulging in sensual conduct? Are we dishonest? Do we try to deceive others and ourselves? Are we indulging in intoxicants? So if we engage in any of these activities, we will weaken our wisdom. And when we engage in any of those types of actions, it has a direct effect in our meditation. It brings hindrances into our meditation that prevent us from going deeper. So if we understand that, we will take the steps to avoid those actions and to let go of attachment to thoughts and intentions that would drive those actions to manifest. Another resolution that we can make for Kriya Yoga is to take a day or two every month to have a mini self-retreat where you do intensive Kriya Yoga practice. You may do some reading or contemplation to help uplift your mind, but you spend time making focused effort in your sadhana. If you're able to do that for a day or two every month, you will find that your practice will really start to blossom and it will give you impetus to continue your daily practice and to really start to develop your sadhana and advance spiritually. The other thing that you can make a resolution is to integrate your practice into your everyday life. So what you experience in meditation and the insights that you have, you start to integrate that into everyday life. If you have the realization about certain aspects of your character and you see clearly what you want to let go of, you actually make that a goal in your daily life to integrate that. So for example, if you have recognized that you have a restless mind in meditation and see that this is a behavioral pattern that manifests in your everyday life, once you learn to recognize that attachment as it manifests in your meditation and to release attachment to it, then you bring that wisdom into your everyday life and start to see how the restless mind moves from one thing to the other. And you use the same process in your everyday life to let go of attachment to that restlessness. And really this transforms you in and out. You start to bring the wisdom that you gained in meditation into everyday life and start to integrate it. And this can lead to permanent changes in your character and your experience of everyday life. Now, to help support your goals in the new year, we'll be offering a free Modern Kriya information session on Saturday, January the 4th at 10 a.m. PST. And in this 1-hour session, we'll talk about the development of Kriya Yoga, how it works, and how to best apply it in your spiritual practice. Now, this is a free session, but spaces are limited and availability is on a first-come, first-served basis. So make sure to reserve your spot by clicking the link below in the description. So if you have any questions about this video, feel free to send me an email at info@modernkriya.com. Also check our website at modernkriya.com and our YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.